Okay, gang. Well, I've had a lot of requests to review this Fender Vintage Modified Jaguar. The retails for about $299, and it's a really unique guitar that has some unique sounds that you can't get, or that I haven't seen in other guitars. And so I thought what I'd do is I'd give you a general review of it and then take you through all the different sounds that you can get on it, or some of the different sounds. So we'll go from there. Full disclosure here, I have loved playing this guitar. It is definitely a unique look and a unique feel and unique sound compared to the rest of my collection. So well, everybody's out there with a Strat, and I like Strats, I like Tellys, but this is definitely different. All right. And, you know, with the 80s music coming back, you can pretend you're Johnny Marr as well if you want to play some Smith songs or whatever. I know he actually used he used a real Jaguar. There's a Johnny Marr signature, and if you want to put out about 4 times the number of bones, you can own one of those as opposed to this. But this is a relative bargain at $299. Now, first of all, this guitar feels great. It's on the light side. I'd say it's about 7 pounds, and it's got a great balance, and the body feels really well. The fit and the finish on this thing is just fantastic. It just feels like a really solid guitar. It's a glossy neck, 24-inch scale, so it's a little bit different. It's a little bit smaller. That allows you to finger some chords a little bit differently, which, by the way, makes it actually, believe it or not, a great choice for playing some jazz too. And I'll demonstrate that a little bit later, because one of its circuits has a very mellow tone, and one of its circuits has a very mellow tone, and because of the 24-inch scale, you can do some stretch chords a little bit easier. So it's kind of cool that way. All right, let's see. It's got a modern, and I'm sorry, not a modern C, but it's got an old C shape. So it's a little bit thicker than a standard, say, Mexican Telly or Mexican Strat, but it's still not anywhere near as thick as, say, a Les Paul. So it's a very comfortable neck. I think you get used to it really quickly. Gloss. It's got these way cool pickups, which have the teeth on them. You see that? Duncan designed. And they sound great. It's got a floating trem, which actually I think I'm not an expert on trems. I guarantee you that, because I don't use them that much. But stays in tune reasonably well as long as you're not doing Eddie Van Halen dive bombs. It's pretty good. I don't know. To me, it's just it's really good. It's got the old Kluson style tuners, so the vintage style tuners. It's really good. Now, if there's any weakness in it, I guess maybe some people have said the trem. I wouldn't know. Seems okay to me. But the bridge, I'm going to put it really close there. It's got the old style bridge. And the problem with that is it does seem to go out of tune when you change your strings quite often. It's hard to get it in. After a while, it settles and it's not so bad. Now, a number of people have substituted these with a Mustang bridge. That is supposedly just a drop in. I haven't done it yet. I do have one on order, so I'll let you know how that goes. But this fills the bill for $299. It would have been good if they didn't put in this old kind of crappy bridge. Would have been nice if they didn't do that. So 4.5 stars out of 5 for that. But other than that, great guitar. Well, let's hear how it sounds. So I'm going to roll off I had a lot of reverb on that. I'm going to take the reverb off, and we'll go through it. Now, it's got this circuitry. This is a selector of rhythm, and down is kind of the lead circuit, and that's these toggle switches right here. They toggle respectively. This one right here toggles the neck pickup. This one right here toggles bridge, and of course, both of them on would be both. And then this is kind of like a treble increase. So you'll hear some of that. So let's start out with the neck pickup on. Now this is just the neck. Nice. right, now let's go with both of them on. I've got the neck and the bridge on. You can see it's got that nice sort of mix. You can really see this is a great jangle sort of guitar. Here again is the just the neck, and here's the neck and the bridge. Definitely a big difference. And now here's just the bridge. So, nice stuff there. All right, and here now I'm going to put on the treble boost. So you can see you can really get a big treble boost on that. Now, the treble boost works with both of them on, or whatever. It just gives you a little bit of a treble boost on that, even with just the neck. Works with that. Now, for much mellower tones, you'll switch on the rhythm. You can definitely hear a big difference there. So the really amazing thing I think with this is if you roll off the tone, just a bit, you can get some real jazzy sounds. Chords like this, like I said before, where you really have to stretch, or makes it pretty easy to play. But all right, here's a walking bass line type of thing. I'm not much of a jazz player, but to my ears that sounds pretty good. All right, now let's check out some of the more overdriven sounds. All right, I've got it back on the lead channel. I'm playing out of the bridge pickup. I've got a Marshall type sound on here now, a classic Marshall type sound with not a ton of overdrive. Just to hear how it sounds. Let's check it out. So, kind of a nice little sound. It's not very sustainy. It doesn't have a lot of sustain. Maybe that's because it's got the string-through bridge on this and not a lot of metal on this trem. Let's, just for the heck of it, I'll put on a tube screamer and you can hear the difference. This is really heavy overdrive. All right. Well, Anyway, like I said, I love this guitar. I think it's an absolute bargain for $299, and if you see it in your local store, check it out. Play it through a number of different amps and see what you think. If you want to bring back the 80s with your playing or with your guitar, and you're looking for something maybe a little bit different, this might be the guitar that speaks to you. All right, till later, we'll see you on down the road.